Welcome to another episode of RTN News. I'm Tyler Mulvey.
And I'm Katie Bavoso. Today's top story is a local girl is murdered. 12-year-old Clayton girl Autumn Pasquale was reported missing Saturday night after not coming home from a friend's house. The residents of the girl's neighborhood and surrounding areas put together a search party. Unfortunately, the search ended when she was found dead Monday night in a recycling bin. Two teenage boys, Justin and Dante Robinson, have been charged with allegedly luring the girl into their home and murdering her for her bike parts. An investigation is still underway.
Sicklerville man arrested for robbery. On Tuesday, Robert Ford went into Caribous Italian Grill on Route 38 and asked to talk to a manager. He then walked into the back room and told them he was robbing the place and asked for all the money. Once given the money, he fled the scene. A description of the man's car was broadcast over the police radio, and shortly thereafter he was pulled over and arrested. Ford is being held at Camden County Jail. Camden
County College builds a new science building. The community college officially opened the building earlier this week. President of the university, Raymond Iannuzzi, was there at the opening ceremony and even proposed that the Board of Trustees name the building after the board's recently deceased board chairperson, Kevin Halpern. The building will be used for all science education, including chemistry, biology, physics, and dentistry.
More luring attempts happened in Bergen County. On Wednesday afternoon, 3 girls and 1 boy said that they were approached by a man driving a silver 4-door car. He allegedly lowered the window and asked the children if they wanted a ride. This is not the first luring incident recently in Bergen County. There have been a string of them, which has led to a town crackdown on law enforcement patrolling and Halloween curfews. It can happen anywhere, even in your backyard.
Absolutely, and it's very tragic after the entire incident with Autumn, and now I don't think there's any parents that aren't at all paranoid about this entire situation that's going on. So hopefully in the future we will not have to worry much more about any more luring attempts.
Now let's go to Ashley Taradio to see what's going on around Rowan.
Thanks, Tyler. Rowan students hold a candlelight vigil for local girl Autumn Pasquale. The 12-year-old Clayton girl was found dead in a recycle bin Monday night. The vigil was held at the gazebo by Magnolia Hall, where students who never even knew Autumn gathered to mourn the loss of life. Rowan senior Kathleen Masterson was the main organizer of the event. People who attended shared prayers and poems to show their respect for the little girl. Members of Rowan's Democratic and Republican clubs face off in a political debate in the Mimosa Hall Lounge. Last week, the clubs debated about the economy as well as foreign and domestic affairs. The event was held by the Political Science Organization and moderated by their president, Harold Rain. The two organizations disagreed on ideas such as how much of a role the federal government should have in protecting the environment and about the federal deficit. 2 Rowan students are confirmed to have pertussis. The illness, also known as whooping cough, is a highly contagious respiratory disease that has first symptoms similar to the common cold. A 3rd student is being tested to see if she has the disease as well. Director of Student Health Center Services Scott Woodside recommends washing hands and staying at least 15 feet away from sick students to keep yourself healthy. Homecoming week is coming to an end. Rowan held events for students to participate in, such as the banner competition, where students created banners for their on-campus organizations, and Battle of the Chefs, where Sodexo employees made their signature dishes to compete for Best Dish. The hashtag Roglo Paint Party on Friday and homecoming football game on Saturday will wrap up the eventful week. Rowan Student Government Association passed a resolution asking that Gloucester County install flashing yellow lights on more of the crosswalks on Route 322. SGA President Tom Holroyd says the lights will provide protection for students and visitors of Rowan crossing the street. Holroyd also says the resolution will help to put, quote, force and energy on the county to install the lights since they maintain the road. Well, I think Route 322 needs more lights because at night you can barely see the people walking by.
Oh, absolutely. I was at that meeting actually, and I was surprised about how many students actually rose their hand and said, we really want this. And it was a lot of Rowan Boulevard students who have to constantly walk past that area. It's just dangerous. You can't do that at night. Nobody sees you. Exactly. I've almost been hit 3 times trying to get across the street, even with the lights, because people are...
And especially with the new businesses coming, so it's not just going to be Rowan students, it'll be people of Glassboro too. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
A baby has gone missing in Montgomery County. An Amber Alert was released Monday afternoon saying the baby had last been seen between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. She was abducted during a homicide in Philadelphia. Late Monday night, a news conference was held by police in Montgomery County to allow the 10-month-old's father to speak. He pleaded with the kidnappers to bring his daughter home safely. Unfortunately, the baby was found dead Friday morning.
Obama and Romney engage in their final debate before the election. Monday night, President Barack Obama and Republican nominee Governor Mitt Romney discussed foreign policy in their third and final presidential debate at Lynn University in Boca Raton, Florida. While this debate was much less intense than the second debate at Hofstra University, Obama was the clear aggressor throughout the night, towards a rather surprisingly subdued Romney. The Republican nominee even seemed to praise the Democrat for his stand on many foreign policy issues, including his use of drones over countries overseas. By the end of the debate, the majority of people said that Obama won, and the polls the next day showed he had taken the lead.
Longtime Armstrong critics are feeling vindicated. A short time after 7-time Tour de France winning cyclist Lance Armstrong was stripped of his titles and endorsement deals, the critics that had been accusing him of doping for years are saying that they now feel all that time of being brushed aside as liars has finally been justified. As Kathy Lemond, wife of rival cyclist and longtime doping accuser Greg Lemond, said in a tweet, quote, 11 years of bullying and threats. Lance Armstrong is now the greatest fraud in the history of sports, end quote. The London Times is even considering to sue Armstrong over a libel case he brought against the newspaper, which resulted in an expensive payout.
An alleged prostitution ring is busted in New York City. Officials say they've uncovered a prostitution ring run out of Manhattan, where neighbors say they would see half a dozen men lined up outside of an apartment at night, and that the girls were, quote, pretty enough to be models, end quote. The ring was run by 42-year-old William Thomas, whose website offered the women for $200 to $300 an hour. Police say that during the sting, they found several beds and 5 women inside the apartment. Charges against Thomas are awaited.
It's crazy that it can be on the internet so open, and you would think that you're not going to get caught.
There's so many things that are going on out there. You can just Google something and it'll come up. And I don't know if there's red tape that the police just can't show up. There's a lot of things that are certainly hoaxes. But in this sense, I feel like it shouldn't have taken as long as it did to get to them, but at least it's out of that building.
We're going to be back with some health and wellness tips from Erin O'Malley right after this.